flames were already coming over the hood of my car.
Thomas Clenard's Kia Optima caught fire as he drove down Highway 19 in Newport Richey.
I couldn't open the door. All the electric was shut off in my car.
Thomas fought with the door locks and escaped just before the flames torched the car's interior.
My car was engulfed in flames.
The I-Team did some digging and found 22 other reports of fires in 2012 to 2014 Optima models.
It's highly unusual to see this number of fires related to a specific make and year.
This 2012 Sorento caught fire with Susan King behind the wheel near Orlando last month. And in San Diego, Fernanda Kruger says her 2016 Sorento went up in flames on a busy freeway this past March.
I was driving with a car that was on fire.
Between these two fires and the reports we found filed with NHTSA, a total of 39 Sorentos, model years 2011 to 2016, have caught fire.
It's not just the people who are in the car that's catching on fire, it's the people around them who are in danger.
Now, the Center for Auto Safety will formally request NHTSA investigate Kia fires in these two models.
They said that they weren't going to pursue it any further.
In Thomas's case, he showed us emails that he sent to Kia.
They've refused to go look at the car.
His attorney, Brendan Riley, hired an independent fire expert to inspect the Optima.
This fire was caused by the fan motor.
We discovered Kia recalled a similar fan motor in thousands of Fortes due to a fire hazard. I emailed Kia's corporate spokesperson regarding the numbers of fires in both the Sorentos and Optimas. He responded with this statement: a vehicle fire may be due to any number of complex factors. KMA will work with the customer to reach a satisfactory resolution to the matter.
Oh, my goodness.
We've got 6 other people. Senator Nelson caught one of our first reports in April. Then last month,
get over! Get over!
The ranking member of the Commerce Committee, which oversees the auto industry, watched the footage of another Kia going up in flames on I-4.
The minute I saw that, I said, we got to get to the bottom of this.
Senator Nelson now asking the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration what steps it's taking to address the fires. We followed up with NHTSA, and a spokesperson told us in this email the agency is reviewing the issue and will take appropriate action to protect the American public.
I saw flames and smoke coming out of the front of the car.
Just last week, Dwayne Silva and his 10-year-old son were in their 2014 Kia Forte when the engine erupted into flames.
Me and my son just jumped out of the car, ran down the side of the freeway, and we looked back and the car is just engulfed in flames.
Dwayne, who lives in California, is the 6th Kia owner we've interviewed who claims the manufacturer has no interest in examining the car for a cause.
A statement of what happened and no other further actions from that.
There ought to be an immediate recall.
It's an urgent matter.
Jackie Calloway taking action for you. Today, a corporate spokesperson confirmed they're tracking down 2 of the vehicles, a Forte and a Sorento, involved in the most recent fires we reported to them.
I am happy that they're doing that. They need to do something about this.
Tomorrow, Kia says it will inspect the Silva's Forte. We notified the family today.
We tried to contact Kia a few times, and they did not reach out to us till I believe they saw the story or heard the story somehow with you.
It's not going to be too long until somebody gets killed.
NHTSA responded in June saying it was reviewing all non-collision Kia and Hyundai fires. But now a month later, the federal regulator notified the senator's office it did not see a clear defect pattern and would not investigate further.
We're very concerned about these fires.
Now another national watchdog, the Consumers Union, is calling for action.
The government isn't being a tough enough watchdog.
Just 2 weeks ago, the Department of Transportation's Inspector General found NHTSA delayed investigating consumer complaints about Takata airbags. Now critics question its handling of these fires. And in the cases of the 6 victims we've interviewed, each claims Kia expressed zero interest in examining the vehicles for the cause.
They did nothing at all about the situation.
Now Senator Nelson says he'll call on fellow members of the Transportation Committee to force Kia and Hyundai to answer questions in a Senate hearing.
A car is blowing up, and there's a baby in the car, and the people just removed the baby.
Daniel and Christina Adams' Kia caught fire as they drove down a Polk County highway last month.
It was engulfed in flames before I even really was out of the car.
Christina barely had time to unbuckle her baby's car seat.
It honestly felt like seconds before the entire car was engulfed.
The Adams story echoes other victims that we've interviewed. They all say that in the 10 or 15 seconds it took them to get out of the burning car over to safety, by that time the vehicle was fully engulfed.
I thought I was going to die.
Tisha Van Allen says her Optima spontaneously burst into flames with her behind the wheel in Memphis weeks ago.
There was no way to get out until the gentleman actually yanked the door.
Two models stand out. 91 of the complaints involved the 2011 to 2014 Optima and Sorento. Many of these vehicles already under an engine defect recall unrelated to the fires. Weeks before the fire, Kia replaced the engine in the Adams Sorento under that recall.
And it's still burned down.
We brought in auto fire investigator Rich Meyer to examine the Adams SUV.
What that means is we had a fire that was burning down in this area.
He determined the fire started in the rear portion of the engine compartment, but could not pinpoint the cause.
Is that their car?
It is.
Our questions prompted Kia to examine 3 of the vehicles in our stories. The company stated it will provide inspection results directly to those customers. And if the fire is a result of a manufacturing-related issue, Kia will work with customers to address any costs and expenses they may incur.
To watch my child die in front of my eyes, I wouldn't wish that on anybody.
Keith Nash never made it out of the parking lot.
Sounded like gunfire, like an explosion.
The 48-year-old burned to death after getting into his mother's 2014 Kia Soul just outside Cincinnati last year.
And I ran to the car, and it was so hot, I couldn't get him out of the car without probably killing myself.
His official cause of death? Smoke and gas inhalation. But police say he also had fentanyl and heroin in his system. Investigators found no drug paraphernalia or residue in the car.
I heard him holler for help.
The Kia that Nash died in, one of 29 reported fires in Souls, sold between 2010 and 2015.
If they had even one report, then they should have done something. And they didn't.
Consumer watchdogs, along with several members of Congress, demanding NHTSA also investigate what they call an alarming number of Hyundai fires. Hyundai, Kia's sister company, manufactures the Santa Fe and Sonata. NHTSA reports 70 fires total in the 2011 to 2014 Santa Fe's and Sonatas.
Oh, God is good.
Ronnie Rivera, who lives in Lakeland, says her 2016 Sorento exploded without warning as she drove down the road last year.
I want to know what caused this. Why did I almost die?
Ronnie says she reported the fire to Kia corporate, but claims they refused to inspect her SUV.
When I called, they said they'd had no fires.
Now you've got a congressional hearing.
I believe because you pushed. I believe because you started asking the hard questions.
I reached out to both Kia and Hyundai for a comment on the upcoming hearing. Only Kia responded. A spokesperson told me Kia will continue to voluntarily cooperate with the committee and is in the process of responding to its recent inquiries regarding vehicle fires. I'll be live on Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. next month to cover the hearing. We're going to continue to push for answers on exactly what caused these fires and what's being done to prevent more.
Now to the new developments involving the car fires we've been telling you about for months now. Congress pulling the plug on a hearing after the CEOs of Kia and Hyundai said they will not go.
The Senate Transportation Committee today canceling Wednesday's hearing after the CEOs for Kia and Hyundai say they're not going to attend. Their defiance comes just 3 weeks after lawmakers invited them to explain why so many of their cars and SUVs are burning up. Both car companies say they're cooperating with Congress, but are not committing to testify on Capitol Hill. And just this afternoon, we learned the committee is still in talks with Kia and Hyundai in hopes of rescheduling that hearing on these fires. Now, we're going to stay on top of Congress and these companies to make sure they follow through on these hearings. Daniel Adams barely got his family out of their Sorento alive on a Polk County highway this summer.
It was engulfed in flames before I even really was out of the car.
Now some experts say they think they know why. Watch as fuel sprays onto the ignition coil in this 2014 Kia Optima. The owner taking this video just 3 weeks after Kia replaced his engine as part of a recall.
This is what I have to put my family in.
Sam Pertwee, now too afraid to let his wife and 4 kids ride in his car. Does this alarm you?
This is a horrible condition. The outside casing's made out of aluminum, which actually melted.
Fire investigator Rich Meyer suspects fuel pump leaks, like this one in Sam's car, are igniting some of these fires.
You have the fuel and you have an ignition source. And under the right conditions, this can catch on fire.
Kia even warned about the fuel pump leaks way back in August of 2011, telling mechanics in a special bulletin fuel pump replacements done without new bolts and tubing may result in fuel leaks. As part of the current recall, Kia mechanics need to temporarily remove the fuel pump to replace the engine. Jerry Tucker of North Carolina discovered his 2014 Kia Sorento spewing gas from the fuel pump just 3 weeks after Kia replaced his engine.
That's extremely alarming.
We showed Bob Noriega, a Tampa-certified Kia and Hyundai mechanic, the two videos shot by Sam and Jerry.
So that guy is getting 1,100, 1,200, 1,300 degrees. Anytime there's a fuel leak, it would be extremely concerning.
So far, drivers have reported 240 Kias and Hyundais, which have similar engines, spontaneously catching fire since 2011. But not all of these vehicles underwent the engine recall.
It is quite possible that there's more than one cause to these fires.
Meanwhile, Hyundai now says most of its vehicle fires involve cars which have not undergone the recall yet. Like this Hyundai Sonata, which caught fire in 2016 on a major interstate just south of Chicago. Hyundai told us in an email, yes, in the majority of cases, the fire is caused by the manufacturing issue identified in the recall. That's why we are working diligently to get the recalls completed for all drivers of these vehicles.
It just blew up when we were watching TV.
Kathy Korachetz called 911 moments after discovering her car on fire.
Oh, my God!
911, what is the address of your...
Oh, my God! My car's on fire!
Last month, Kathy's husband parked their 2015 Kia Soul just outside their garage. 4 hours later,
we heard a boom.
The car is on fire! It's right next to our house!
Her husband grabbed a water hose and a fire extinguisher to save their home just south of Sarasota. Just 2 days later in Ohio, Linda Clapp's 2013 Sorento burst into flames while driving outside of Canton.
How could a fire, be that intense, that fast?
According to the Center for Auto Safety, she's among drivers in 43 states who've reported 255 Kia and Hyundai fires. 22 of those in Florida.
My car's on fire.
Congress called for hearings into the fires last month, but CEOs for Kia and Hyundai refused to show up. Now, the U.S. Attorney's Office in New York City has launched an investigation into whether the car makers handled the recalls properly, according to news reports.
It does not take much to open an investigation.
Federal prosecutors won't comment, but former U.S. Attorney Brian Albritton says the feds need to find proof of fraud to make a case.
They are looking for people acting deceptively. They're fraudulently, criminally.
Albritton, who does not have any inside knowledge of the investigation, said prosecutors will likely probe whether the car makers made any untruthful statements to government regulators.
For fraud, it's got to be a deception, so you either have to have omitted something that you had a duty to say, or you have to have made a false statement.
But Albritton told the I-Team it's unclear whether the car companies will face indictments or fines.
Not all investigations end up in criminal charges.
Both Kia and Hyundai refuse to comment on any possible federal investigations or say what could be causing these fires.
There's no damage behind the engine.
But the I-Team uncovered what might be sparking some of them.
Behind the radiator.
We asked auto fire investigator Rich Meyer to examine Kathy's car. He suspects the wiring in the fan motor sparked the fire.
The radiator fan and its included circuitry.
It is the second time in 6 months that this fire investigator has pointed to a fan motor or the wiring as sparking a Kia fire. And last month, 2 experts told the I-Team they suspect some of the work done during the engine recall replacements may be to blame. Meyer suspects fuel pump leaks like these 2 ignited fires in the cars that went in for that recall. It's unclear what caused Linda's Kia to catch fire, but a Kia dealership replaced her fuel pump last year.
And under the right conditions, this can catch on fire.
We still don't know why so many of these cars are going up in flames. The I-team turned over our fire inspector's findings to Kia, and a corporate spokesperson said the company would look into both incidents. But the owners tell us Kia has yet to inspect their damaged vehicles. I'm I-team investigator Jackie Calloway, taking action for you.